Most business owners think you can sell for a premium by growing revenues, cutting expenses, and waiting around for the right buyer. But that's not how private equity thinks. In fact, I've seen businesses with great numbers sell at a discount, while average businesses sell for millions more than expected. What makes the difference? Before going to market, those average businesses copied the private equity playbook on how to prepare a business for sale. And so I'm going to show you the exact PE principles you can copy starting today to increase your valuation, reduce risk, and give buyers the confidence to pay top dollar when you come to sell your business. And one of these principles is something that almost no advisor will tell you about, even though it completely shifts the power dynamic in your favor. So let's walk through the exact principles PE firms use internally to prep a business for sale and how you can apply them long before you go to market. Let's kick it off today with principle number 1, clear differentiation. This is a big one which a lot of businesses don't get right. Because the truth is, buyers don't want to buy good companies, they want to buy clear and obvious winners. PE firms obsess over having something that makes the business clearly different from your competition because it reduces customer churn, protects your market share, and justifies higher valuations. Which is why the fastest way to kill a buyer's interest is when they ask you what makes your business different, and you say something like, "We have great service," or "Our people are great," or "Our customers love us." Sorry, but every business owner says that. Buyers don't want vague answers. They want provable differentiation. That means, why should a customer come to you instead of any of your 10 competitors? What happens if a customer tries to replace you? What do you do that's hard, slow, or risky to replicate? And perhaps most importantly, can you raise your prices without your customers being able to do anything about it? And this can't be something that only lives in your head. You must be able to articulate it clearly, demonstrate it operationally, back it up financially, and unfortunately, if you can't explain what makes you different in a way that's simple and easy to understand, buyers will just assume it doesn't really exist. But if you're not too sure where to get started with finding what makes your business unique, well, this is exactly the kind of thing I help owners tighten up before a sale. Because once you're already in diligence, it's too late. So if you'd like help with this, there's a link below where you can schedule a call with me. And we'll walk through step by step how buyers would actually see your business and what specific actionable steps you can take to get a premium exit. Next up, let's talk about something that might be a little uncomfortable if you've never sold a business before. Principle number 2, understand transaction dynamics. Here's a brutal truth. A lot of sellers lose out on money, not because of business issues, but because they don't understand how deals actually work. For example, almost every seller wants an all-cash deal, but most buyers will refuse to do all cash. And if you insist on it, it can mean a buyer might take you less seriously and become less interested in your business. On the other hand, PE firms study this stuff years in advance. They understand why LOIs are written the way they are, where and how leverage can shift during diligence, how working capital, earnouts, rollover equity, and reps and warranties really work. If you don't understand this stuff, it can be easy to overreact to perfectly normal deal terms, negotiate emotionally, or accept risk without realizing it. Don't get me wrong, education alone won't make you a deal expert, but ignorance will absolutely cost you money. Let's move on to something almost no one will tell you about, which can be a huge difference maker when exiting your business. Principle number 3, build buyer relationships before you sell. As a business owner, this is one of the most powerful advantages you can give yourself. PE firms know this, and so they're constantly building relationships. They talk to owners years in advance. They keep track of companies before they're for sale. They learn how businesses actually operate outside of a process. But when you wait until you're ready to sell, to start talking to buyers, you give up that advantage. Getting to know buyers early teaches you how buyers think. It helps you shape your business into something buyers want before the valuation is set. It gives you raw, unfiltered feedback. And don't underestimate the value of that last point, because buyers are far more honest before there's a deal on the table. Once your business goes on the market, everything becomes positioning and negotiation. So if you want insight into how your business is really viewed, then relationships and real feedback beat spreadsheets every time. This is one of the first things I tell owners to do when they ask me how they can get a premium price for their business. Next up, here's something else that most owners don't do, but which can give you much more leverage at the negotiating table. Principle number 4, trustworthy financials and a story that makes sense. Buyers don't just buy numbers, they buy confidence in the story behind the numbers. And this is where a lot of sellers get tripped up, because they think good financials means clean books, a few add backs, maybe an audit or a review. And yes, all of that helps. But what private equity really wants is this. When they ask a question about your numbers, the answer makes immediate sense. For example, revenue down 1 year? A strong seller doesn't say, "Yeah, that was a weird year." They say, "Here's the customer cohort that rolled off. Here's why it happened, and here's what's replaced it. Gross margin down 5 points, a strong seller can point directly to specific cost buckets, changes in revenue mix, or a temporary operational issue that's already been fixed. In other words, the financials and the narrative match. Private equity firms spend a lot of time making sure they can explain their own portfolio companies this way, because confusion equals risk, and risk shows up as lower multiples, more holdbacks, more aggressive deal terms. Now, tactically speaking, buyers still care about things like cash versus accrual accounting, logical add-backs, consistent categorization, reviewed or audited financials when possible. But strategically, the real credibility comes from being able to explain trends, inflections, and anomalies in a way that feels grounded, honest, and repeatable. If your numbers require long explanations or change depending on who's asking, or don't line up with how you describe the business, buyers assume something's wrong, even if nothing is, and they'll price that uncertainty in. This is why private equity firms invest early in financial clarity, not just cleanliness, long before a sale process ever begins. Principle number 5, get a real marketing deck, not a sales brochure. Most CIMs and decks fail for one reason. They're written like marketing materials, not buyer tools. A strong deck should clearly show your company history, how your business actually makes money, customer concentration, the competitive landscape, why your business is different, going back to principle number 1, challenges and risks. And believe me, buyers can smell hype from a mile away. They've gone through this process over and over again. So that means leaving out the overly optimistic and inflated projections. The goal of your deck is not to sell the dream. It's to make the buyer interested enough to dig deeper. And when selling a business, private equity firms focus on clarity over volume, making it easy for a buyer to understand the business and the key value drivers without burying them in unnecessary detail. But unfortunately, when it comes to most business owners, the marketing deck is one of the most misunderstood and misused assets in a sale. Let's press on. Principle number 6, show growth and prove you're executing. Every seller has a growth story, but very few can prove they're already executing it. Buyers don't pay a premium for ideas. They pay a premium for proven forward momentum. That means having a clear, realistic growth strategy and hard evidence that it's already underway. PE firms don't bother talking about what could happen. They focus on what's already happening and how fast. If you're not already executing, then buyers will start to wonder why not. But if you are, then they see that as reducing risk, and less risk increases your valuation. Simple. Finally, let's talk about principle number 7. If top dollar is your goal, then hire an M&A advisor. Let's be honest. If you don't want to run the process yourself and maximizing price is your number one goal, and you don't care about your legacy, your business's culture, etc., then you probably should hire an M&A advisor. But, and this is critical, you need to understand that hiring an advisor does not prepare your business for sale. They can only help market what already exists. This is a big reason why 80% of businesses fail to sell. Preparation comes first, the sale comes second. That's the order PE firms follow, and it's the order smart sellers copy. Here's the big takeaway. Selling for a premium is all about reducing buyer risk before you ever go to market. Private equity knows this. Now you do too. And if you want help applying these 7 principles to your business, there's a link below this video to schedule a call with me. On the call, we'll walk through what buyers would see if they looked at your business, any hidden issues or red flags, and how to fix them before they cost you millions of dollars. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.